On another note, well, I try to multitask, so we'll see. I made a post yesterday, and then I saved it in my archives or whatever, archives, and I saved it because I felt like I needed to say it rather than just post it. And then I also felt like it was just mainly from the post, the written part of it was mainly for me to just let it out. But basically, I fell from my basement on Friday. And it's not like I felt too high. I don't even know how many steps there are, honestly. But I fell from the fourth bottom step. So here's the bottom. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 more steps to go. On the fourth step, somehow I lost my balance. And I was carrying a container down, and I let go of the container thinking I was gonna fall forward, so I just threw the container so I can fall forward, but I fell sideways. So when this happened, I was alone. My kids weren't coming from school. They still had like maybe 20 more minutes to go before they actually came home. And so I was on the floor. The impact of me, and the floor of the basement is concrete. It's not like we have any carpeting or anything. It's just straight up concrete. So when I fell, my left kneecap hit the floor first. And that was just enough for me to scream and cry and everything. The whole point, it wasn't that, like, I wasn't like surprised that I was crying. Obviously I got hurt. It was more so of like, I realized that no one was home, and I felt alone, and I felt vulnerable and weak, and I was mad. And so I was on the floor for a good 15 minutes. And my phone was upstairs charging, so it's not like I called somebody or anything. And either way, I live so far. Well, it's not like I live an hour away from my closest family members, so it would still have been a journey for them to come if I would have called anyway. But anyways, the thing is that I was like on the floor for 15 minutes, just crazy crying and screaming, and I had to like suck it up and crawl my way upstairs again. And I did it, and I made it to my room, and I called my closest ones, just to let them know, like, I made it, I'm upstairs, like, I'm on the phone, like, I can talk, I'm okay, like, hopefully nothing's broken. I don't think anything's broken. I just think I got myself hurt really bad. But it made me realize how that it was more than the physical pain. It was emotional pain that I was suppressing. And so the emotional part, before I got to my room, I was able to crawl all the way upstairs into the kitchen, and because the way to the basement is to the kitchen. And so I was in the kitchen about to enter the living room. I was on the floor, but I had to stop because the pain was just so bad. And it was so bad that like I was crying, and I was even saying sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know who I was saying sorry to, but I was just saying sorry. Like, that's the first thing that came out of my mouth. And then I got to my room, and then I was able to take a breather, because I was distracting myself through the conversations with my loved ones through text. And then it came again, because I had to literally tell my people, like, I gotta take a break, like, I will get back to you later because I'm in terrible pain. And during that pain, I was like, fuck you. And that's what made me think, like, this is not just the fall, it's all the pain I've been holding in and suppressing, and I knew that. And so even though I was so focused on my pain, like, let me show you. Like, it's pretty jacked up. Right now, the filter is kind of making it look a little better, but it's pretty jacked up. And then I have other bruises. Like, I have bruises here. My hips are hurting. Like, I'm a wreck. Like, whatever, though. That doesn't stop me from moving around. Although I think the lesson is to sit my ass down and no stillness. But that's a whole other story. But basically, my fall, like, this had to happen in the most fucked up way, because it's not like anyone wants to learn their lessons through pain, or through any type of harm. And I felt like it's not about me needing to fall. It was more so about like reminding myself that I still am healing, right? I'm still learning how to heal in a healthy way, and sometimes I do repress feelings where I'm still figuring my life out. Like, not many people know my entire story. There's parts of my life that I still keep private, or I don't talk about as much as I want to, because I'm still living it. And so, I I'm learning this new life that I get to live. I'm learning about me most of all. And so I've learned that, there's some old stuff came up, a lot of the pain and anger and all that sorry and FUs I was saying, it wasn't because I fell. It's because I already had it in me. I had it so repressed and suppressed inside me that it took this incident for me to even feel what I didn't know I was suppressing, or consciously and subconsciously knew that I was suppressing. And so the message of this entire thing is, and so moral of the story is, feel your feelings. Sometimes we don't realize how powerful our emotions and the control it can have over us, and it will lead us in unconsciously to a path where we can hurt ourselves, even if we're not looking for it, even if we don't want to, because who wants to, like I said. When we suppress these feelings, they end up exuding in different ways, whether it's through fights, disagreements, things going wrong, getting hurt, it shows up in other ways. And if we don't listen to that, it'll continue to happen, and it'll continue to happen more often. And the whole point is to decondition ourselves from that, to understand that emotions are meant to be felt, every emotion, not just the good ones, the ugly ones. A lot of people don't like to talk about the ugly side of healing, don't like to talk about the dark side of healing. And especially if you're a trauma survivor, you need to learn how to be okay with anger. You need to learn how to be okay with sadness, because those are still valid emotions. We've been in that state of mind for so long that we just see it as such a negative thing, but we're still human. We are still able to feel anger. We are still able to tell people to F off, when our boundaries have been crossed, when we don't feel safe, when we're feeling like our space is being intruded, or we're not respected or loved in the way that we want. We deserve to express that, and it's not always going to come out pretty, because we're learning how to heal. And the whole point is to not only be self-aware, but be more self-accountable, be more proactive in wanting to change, because there's too many people still that are aware, but they're not doing anything to change it. So happy Sunday.